Hello everyone, my name is Super123, and today we're going to see if we can beat Pokemon Ruby with a team of only one Surskit. Surskit is a fast but frail Pokemon with a very limited move pool in Gen 3, with the only attacking moves it gets via level up being Bubble, Bubble Beam, and Quick Attack, the latter being really bad due to its very low attack stat, having lower base attack than Silcoon and Cascoon, and a lower base stat total than most baby Pokemon including Budew and Chingling. Now that's pretty bad. Luckily, its special attack does make up for this, being able to make use of Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, and Solar Beam. Lots of beams, it can dish out some really quick hits, and very powerful ones at that. Much like my normal challenge in Gen 3, I'm expecting this one to be just as difficult and annoying due to the lack of move pool and type coverage. Let's get into the rules of the challenge. I can only use Surskit in battle. I can use other Pokemon for the uses of HM moves, but they can't be used in battle. No items in battle, only held items may be used. And no cheating or glitches to exploit the game. And if you are new to this channel and enjoy the video, remember to leave a like and hit subscribe. Also leave a comment for any challenges you'd like to see me do in the future. And without further ado, let's jump into the challenge. I replaced Mudkip so the rival would pick Trico. Surskit doesn't learn any bug moves until it evolves, so it doesn't really matter what the rival picks. Anything other than Torchic due to our water type advantage. I named Surskit Month, because I haven't uploaded in a month, which I'm really sorry about, but I've been working on a Professor Oak's challenge for ages, so please don't hate me. Ours is a docile nature, so neutral on the stats, which is alright. I had to get to level 7 before taking on the rival, as just Bubble would be useless against the grass-type Trico. Surskit gets Quick Attack at the level, which is a priority move, so that it can be fairly useful if we don't outspeed something. But with that base speed, I don't think there's going to be much of an issue. Nothing interesting happened on the road to Rustboro, except losing to the Team Magma Grunt because it kept using Sand Attack and Howl, you cheap son of a... Let's look at the gym battle. Roxanne has Rock type, so easy for a Water type like Surskit, right? Well, since we are also part Bug type, we will struggle against Rock moves. And with Rock moves being physical and our physical defense being as strong as my upload schedule, it's not going to end well if we see Rock Tomb. Her highest level Pokemon is level 15, so I did some grinding around the city and tried the gym battle at level 15. And my first attempt was a bust. Not even close since Rock Tomb is super effective and both Roxanne's Pokemon have it. We get absolutely destroyed. My plan was to train Surskit in special attack EVs, but the only Pokemon that give them at this stage we can encounter is Ralts, and at only a 4% encounter on Route 102, it's not really worth it. I'd rather just get the levels as quickly as I can. And for those of you saying Battle Wild Abra, that's only available in Emerald and I'm on Ruby. I know, I had to look this up as well. I was like, why am I not encountering any Abras? But then, they don't exist. I got Surskit to level 20 and here are its stats. It learned Water Sport at level 19, but that's a pretty boring move, so who cares, here's the battle instead. Those extra levels really made the difference as Geodude was a one-shot with Bubble, and in came Nosepass. A critical Bubble took it down to half health as it wasted a turn with Harden. Another Bubble took it into the red as Rock Tomb doesn't even do half of Surskit's health this time. Nosepass is of course healed and 2 more Bubbles take it into the red again, and Nosepass misses a Rock Tomb that would have broke this battle for me. Another potion is used on Nosepass, prolonging my suffering, but this time 2 Bubbles were enough to take it out. I wasn't expecting this battle to be that difficult due to a type advantage, but it's a Surskit. That's why we're doing this challenge after all. Now that gym is complete, we need to go to Dewford to take on Brawly. I did all of the boring letter side quest first of course, and stopped Surskit evolving into Masquerain at level 22. You must stay as you are, Surskit. You are beautiful as you are. I need to do some more grinding as battling the gym trends with Bubble and Quick Attack was very difficult, so I went and got Surskit to level 25 to learn Bubble Beam, a direct upgrade on Bubble at 65 base power, and much like Bubble, it can lower the opponent's speed, which again isn't really too much trouble for us seeing as we have a very high speed stat. And that made all the difference as Surskit tanked the fighting moves due to resisting them as a bug type, and Bubble Beam blasted Brawly away into the dirt. Or the sand, seeing as we're on a little beach island. But now for something that will knock me into the dirt. The rival battle before Marville. Wilma used Rollout before I figured out that Bubble Beam was a lot better than Quick Attack due to a bad attack stat, and before I knew it, I got the Whitney treatment with Rollout. The second attempt just made Wilma use Splash and feints without doing any damage to me. Then a Numel comes out and dies because it's a Numel against a water type. And the true challenge comes out as the Grovyle is next. We both deal minimal damage to each other as it becomes a battle of who does slightly more damage. Grovyle gets a critical hit on Absorb to take Surskit to 7 HP, but on our last attack we get a critical hit quick attack and take the victory. Next on our list of challenges is Wattson. He has electric types that we should do semi-well against with our good special defense, and water moves are neutral on electric types so we won't do too badly I hope. Let's see. I battled some gym trainers, used some rare candies I picked up and went to the battle at level 30. The sad part of this gym is that despite being bug type, Surskit is also water type so the electric moves are going to be super effective. The paralysis caused by Magnemite really did us in, and as the Voltorb takes out Surskit with 2 powerful sparks. Maybe I need a bit more training, or some cherry berries. I did some grinding around Marville but didn't go and get any cherry berries because I was being lazy and tried again at level 35. I tried the battle 3 more times, and only once I got to Magneton. I had to backtrack to get the cherry berries, and since some of you skipped the rules, I can have held items in battle, so that's why I can use them in battle. Sadly, the cherry plants needed to grow again, so I was stuck waiting for them. So then I tried the battle again at level 38 and holding a cherry berry. It started off fairly stress-free as Bubble Beam takes the Magnemite to red while the cherry berry cures our paralysis. Wattson heals the Magnemite, prompting 2 more uncontested Bubble Beams to take it out. Voltorb was next, and another beam of bubbles takes it to 1 pixel of health before it gets in a sonic boom for a fixed 20 damage. I then wanted to use Quick Attack to take it out, but Wattson used his last healing item and a mix of the previous attack, and Bubble Beam took out the Voltorb. Now for his ace, the Magneton. A Bubble Beam takes it down below half health as it uses Thunder Wave, and it can now outspeed us as it uses Shockwave to bring us down to 18 HP. But Surskit battles through the paralysis, gets off a Bubble Beam, and defeats the Magneton by the slimmest of margins, giving us the 3rd gym badge. Before the next badge I got the Double Team TM. I really hope I never have to use that, but I'm just saying I got it just in case. And I also would have got the TM for Ice Beam from the Game Corner to deal with Team Magma Maxie's Golbat, but I couldn't afford it, so I had to try with what I had. But in reality, I didn't really need it, as Bubble Beam was enough to get the victory on my 2nd attempt. And now that's over, I can go to Flannery's gym and just wipe the floor with her, right? You're expecting me to double take and say that I struggled against this gym? You're funny. Bubble Beam sweep, let's move on to Norman's gym. Norman is always a big piece of trouble with him having 2 Pokemon that are basically on par with pseudo-legendaries. I did my first attempt at level 44 and needless to say, I was worried. My first little idea was to teach Surskit Secret Power, a move that has 70 base power and changes effect depending on the location that it's used. And since we'll be using it in a building, it will have a 30% chance to paralyze the opponent, which will be massive. I was also contemplating Thief to steal Norman's final Pokemon Citrus Berry, later finding out that it doesn't have one. Here is attempt 1 and sadly we got destroyed by Facade since Secret Power goes off of Surskit's measly attack stat. Also, Facade doubles in damage if the user has a status condition, something that I forgot. Even with only Bubble Beams, I can't take out the first slacking so I need to do some more grinding. Also, since that Dark type moves are special in Gen 1, I did end up getting rid of Secret Power for Thief, which I feel will be a lot more useful in boss battles that have citrus berries, unlike Norman who of course doesn't have one in this game. But it's also good for type coverage as well. So during this little grinding session, I'm going to plug my Twitter, at Supery123, that's where you can find out about why I haven't uploaded in a month, mainly due to my own idiocy when recording the Professor X challenge. But follow my Twitter to stay up to date with the channel in general. Going back to Norman, and we are now at level 49. Every attempt at this level went exactly the same, as we would just about beat the first slacking. The Vigoroth would come out and do big damage with Slash, normally leaving us on 40 HP, and then the final slacking would just knock us out really easily. I gave this a few attempts, and every attempt felt like it was Groundhog Day. I would keep grinding out the battles to see if I could get lucky on the first slacking, if it just spammed Yawn, which would have just put Surskit to sleep. So then I had the idea of giving it a Chesto Berry to wake it up immediately, and who would have thought it would take a single berry to win this gym battle. His first slacking used Yawn first turn as I got in some damage with Bubble Beam and Thief on its truant turn. If I used another Bubble Beam then Norman would have healed it, but after waking up right away from the sleep with the berry, we take it out and are at full health. The Vigoroth will always get in a bit of damage with Slash, so I just have to hope that it isn't a critical hit. 2 Bubble Beams will do the job and take us to the final Slacking. It uses Facade first turn for some massive damage, but I used Bubble Beam twice in succession, getting the speed drop as well, which will help us get in the final attack, just about making Slacking a free hit KO with the bubbles, but only just. It was insanely close and could have been a damage range, but we got the victory and the 5th badge, all thanks to the Chesto Berry. Who would win? 2 pseudo legendaries or 1 Berry Boy? And now we have finally beaten Norman. Wally's parents give us the HM for Surf, one of the best water type moves in the game, and now it's time to teach a great water type move to a great water type like Surskit. It can't learn Surf. So I taught Surf to a random Marill instead, and went to the abandoned ship to get TM13 Ice Beam, which will provide fantastic coverage against the next gym which has flying types. It also is a great move in general and a must have for any playthrough, solo run challenge or not. I also get a familiar face in the gift cast form and take the Mystic Water off it, an item that boosts water type moves. And after that I beat the rival fairly convincingly and went to Winona. Winona, or should I say lose owner, get it? Because she lost. Yeah, I just spammed Ice Beam and it was pretty cool. I didn't even mean to make that pun just then. Yeah, it was pretty cool, because there was ice. So before the next gym, I have to take a stroll around beating various Team Magma goons before making my way to Mossdeep, where I have to catch a Magikarp on the shore with the old rod to use in the gym battle, since it's a double battle. I got really lucky with this gym battle, as even though Lunatone and Solrock are potential 2-shots with Bubble Beam, it is still a 2v1 at the end of the day. I started with Bubble Beam on Lunatone as Magikarp was gone immediately. Lunatone's Psychic hit for around 3/3 of our health and another Bubble Beam takes it out, but Solrock's Psychic brings us within knockout range. Luckily on the next turn we got a miracle as Bubble Beam hit for critical damage taking out the Solrock. That was close and certainly would have been a loss if it didn't critically hit, but honestly I won't complain as that's another badge in the case, and now we get the story roundup. I got the TM for Dive, I went underwater and fought Maxi and lost on my first attempt, but luckily he just stood there and waited rather than awaken Groudon and control the entire Hone region, which would have been a smart idea. Because he was very polite and waited, I then beat him and went to Sutopolis and beat the beans out of Groudon and saved the world. Now we can fight the final gym leader, which is Wallace and his water types. Now we have no moves that are good against his team. The only moves that we can learn that will be of any use are Giga Drain and Solar Beam. So I went to get the Giga Drain TM, of which you need a grass type in your party, so I went and caught an Oddish. Also thank you to the guy who sent me a picture of your Oddish plush on Twitter. I love it. I will protect him with my life. Since Giga Drain has only 5 PP, I travelled the region to get all of the PP ups I could find and increased it to a hefty 7 PP, and I also put Ice Beam up to 12. Now for the final gym battle, and I'm expecting this one to be tough. A lot of his gym trainers Pokemon survived Giga Drain on red HP, so I'm not expecting any one-shots in this battle. Luvdisc got the confusion and attraction off, which could have severely crippled us in this battle, but it didn't set us back too badly. I didn't waste Giga Drains on Luvdisc and just use Bubble Beam as it's fairly weak anyway. Wishcash comes out next, and being 4 times weak to grass, I use Giga Drain only for it to somehow survive and get healed. Then I used Bubble Beam to get some chip damage on it to make Giga Drain a 1-hit KO. Celia would have been a fairly simple 2-shot with Giga Drain, but its Body Slam paralysed Surskit, putting us at a disadvantage for the final 2 Pokemon, the next of which is Seeking. Due to his last Pokemon being very defensive, I used Bubble Beam against Seeking, and it didn't do too badly since it set up the Rain, which boosts Water-type moves. Wallace did heal, and our low health did force me into a Giga Drain however. He sends out Milotic, but we are in too bad a shape and could not do enough damage and lose the battle. Positive signs, but maybe a bit more luck needed on my end. In attempt 2, I got to the Milotic again, but it did take us out eventually since it kept spamming Recover, and with us not being able to do more damage than it heals up, we lose the battle. So for attempt 3, I tried to use Giga Drain as lit as I could before the Milotic, and it just kept using Recover. But I did freeze it with Ice Beam, which is rare but could be a tactic. It's a very situational tactic, but it's something, it's more than we've got. Since I wanted Giga Drain to do a bit more damage, I went back to the Petalburg Woods to get the Miracle Seed, an item that will boost the power of grass type moves similar to the Mystic Water. I also used rare candies to get Surskit to level 62 and to give myself a bit more of an advantage, because we need a lot of luck to beat Milotic. It took until attempt 5 before I got a good run, and let's have a look at it. Luvdisc is out first and gets the first turn attraction, but that didn't stop Surskit putting the hurt on it with Bubble Beam. It would have been a free hit, but Wallace wastes a Hyper Potion on his weakest team member. Despite the attraction and confusion, Surskit pulls through and beats Luvdisc. Whiscash is out next, and it is a one-shot with the Miracle Seed boosted Giga Drain, healing us up to full HP in the process. Celio comes out next, and I use Bubble Beam to bring it into Giga Drain Rage. Luckily its Body Slam doesn't cause paralysis and it's taken out. Seeking set up the Rain, meaning our Bubble Beam will do more damage to it. Coupled with a crit, Wallace heals up the Seeking, and despite the confusion damage on our part, we reach the Milotic. And for whatever reason this time, Milotic never uses Recover. I don't know why the AI decided this, but with Surskit on minimal HP as I tried to freeze Milotic, I was playing it dangerously. But the risk did pay off as Wallace is finally defeated, and with that we've got the final gym badge of the Hoenn region, and also the TM for Water Pulse. It does have 5 less base power than Bubble Beam, but with the same type attack bonus, Mystic Water, it shouldn't be too different. Water Pulse can also confuse the opponent, which will be a bit more useful than lowering their speed, seeing as we outspeed everything anyway. And now for the great travel through Victory Road, and let's look ahead to the Elite Four. The champion's highest level Pokemon is level 58, but it's a Metagross, which is extremely powerful, and we're not too much better than that, so I think we might need to grind a bit more. Perhaps we'd have to grind to level 70 to have a good chance at victory. The Wally battle at the end of the Victory Road caused me a bit of issue since his Gardevoir liked to use Double Team and knocked me out, sending me all the way back through the cave, rather than through the exit right next to us. The second attempt went a bit better because I leveled up Surskit a bit more and used a PP up on Ice Beam, which clearly made the difference. So here are our stats. I did get Surskit to level 70, and I'm not 100% sure that this will be a good level to go in at. And with our low PP moves, Ethers and Leper Berries are going to be used a lot, so I'll have to save before attempting the whole Elite Four to make sure I don't waste them. So let's begin, attempt 1 versus Sydney. Subit started well against the Mighty Anna, knocking it out in 2 hits of Water Pulse, but then Absol came in and used a Swords Dance, healed up with a Citrus Berry, and absolutely annihilated Surskit. It was the exact same thing in attempt 2, but on attempt 3 I actually beat him. Mighty Anna was a 2-shot with Water Pulse, well, a 3-shot if you include the time he healed. Absol came in next, and to get a bit of chip damage in, I used Giga Drain as it used Snatch. Water Pulse takes it to the red as it can't take us out with an Aerial Ace, leading to a Citrus Berry healing up, and then Water Pulse finishes it off. The rest of the team is a joke after that as Cacturne, Sharpedo and Shiftry are all one-shots. Now I can move on, and then went to battle Phoebe, and her Dusclops used Curse first turn. So that means I lost. Curse will take away half of the user's HP to deal loads back to you each turn unless you switch out, and since I can't do that, I lose. I realised that it would take a lot of RNG to get Phoebe's Dusclops not to use Curse, so I'd probably have to save before the battle or grind up more. I tried to grind up more as I got to around level 75 to try and get past Sydney's Absol easier, as it would always just about survive thanks to those Citrus Berry and absolutely destroy Surskit. There was actually an attempt on Phoebe where Dusclops didn't use Curse, but I still lost. At level 77 I did beat Sydney and almost beat Phoebe thanks to insane confusion luck, but her last Dusclops just survived on red HP and it happened again at level 78, dang it! Her Dusclops is an absolute special defensive monster since even at level 81 it takes 3 Water Pulses to defeat, if I can even hit it that is. Yeah, I've been doing these battles so much that we're now in the level 80s. It took me until level 83, but I finally got a run where I beat Phoebe and I let out the biggest sigh of relief. The first Dusclops was out and we both confused each other, but Surskit was faster so I knocked it out. With the Bayonet we snapped out of confusion and hit a strong Water Pulse which confused the Bayonet. It hurt itself in confusion prompting a full restore, but a further Water Pulse and an Ice Beam then leads to the Sableye. Sableye has no weakness in Gen 3 so all we can do is just hit it. An Ice Beam and a Giga Drain help us recover after it hits a Shadow Ball and now it's into another Bayonet. This is the one that likes to use Will-O-Wisp, but after an Ice Beam takes it to red health it uses Skill Swap, giving us the ability Insomnia which doesn't matter in this battle. It gets fully healed, as do we with Giga Drain, and an Ice Beam does the job. Her final Pokemon is a Dusclops because Team Variety. This one has a very high special defense stat obviously since it's a 3-shot with Water Pulse. Confusing it was a potential plan, but it also confuses us as well. Another Water Pulse brings it within range as it heals with the Citrus Berry, and another Water Pulse was just not enough. but Phoebe has no healing items left, so I use Giga Drain and get the knockout. That was the hardest battle I've had all game, but we've still got more Elite Four members to battle, with Glacier up next on our list. I recovered the PP of Surskit's moves and gave it the Miracle Seed so that Giga Drain will do more damage against the water/ice types. It didn't help in the long run, however, as we did in fact lose. Glalie comes out first, and this is her setup mon. It will use both Hail and Light Screen, causing residual damage and making all of our moves weaker in the process. It also got healed, which is awful. The Light Screen was a turning point in this battle, as by the time Glalie was defeated, we were on half health, with Giga Drain not doing enough to counteract the paralysis. Her second Glalie took us back to the beginning of the Elite Four. So now I have to hope that I can actually beat Phoebe again before I have another chance at beating Glacier, who I'll probably save before so I don't waste my PP healing items. I know a lot of people are against saving in the Elite Four run because they want to do it in one take, but you're on my YouTube channel now. And I'm also refusing to use the double team strategy, no matter how much that team tempts me. It took me a few more tries to get past Phoebe, but I finally got to Glacier again, healed up and saved. Attempt 1, got frozen, but unlike the AI who defrosts the same turn, Surskit faints while frozen because I clearly go off of Gen 1 ice mechanics. So then I had another attempt immediately because I thought I could have won if it wasn't for that freeze. Glalie 1 comes out and is a 2-shot with Water Pulse. Celio number 1 can't get the paralysis with Body Slam as it is a 2-shot with Giga Drain. I got revenge from that last run as Celio 2 froze us with Blizzard, but Surskit defrosts turn 1 and knocks it out with Thief. Glalie number 2 I used an Ice Beam on by mistake, but it prompted a full restore to be wasted before being knocked out, and to my surprise, Wall Rain wasn't much of a threat as I kept just having to click on Giga Drain as it missed Blizzard and kept healing in vain. That battle felt good to get through, and now I can finally battle Drake, and I feel I'm going to have a bit of deja vu with my Castron run where I just swept it with Ice Beam. And indeed it was a clean sweep. All of that struggling against Phoebe and Sydney leveling us up really made the last two members a bit easier than expected. But how will the champion be? Looking more in depth at his team, we do have some very good moves to counter him with. Skarmory could be a pain if it uses Toxic, and Metagross is going to be difficult no matter what level I am. I restored the PP of Surskit's moves, had one last look at the stats, the speed and special attack being the main focal points, and went in the champions room to face Steven. Attempt 1 didn't go too badly as I got the initial freeze on the Skarmory, meaning it can't attack and more importantly can't use Toxic. Claydol came in next and Water Pulsed almost took it out and confused it, leading to it hitting itself, and Steven healing it with a full restore, leading to another 2 Water Pulses taking it out. Cradily is tanky, so I was scared, but Ice Beam did loads of damage to it. It hits an ancient power, but luckily not getting the boosts. Steven heals it and 2 more Ice Beams do the trick. Armaldo can hit very hard, so I went right for the Water Pulse and it's actually a one-shot. I wasn't expecting that. And then Aggron came out and that was also a one-shot with Water Pulse. So now I'm at the Metagross, and could I win this first try? Well, sadly I can't, as it just uses Hyper Beam and blasts Surskit out of the room and us back to the beginning of the Elite Four. But after resetting, I tried this battle 10 more times, and only one of them tries was even close, but that was because Water Pulse confused the Metagross and took it into the red. I'm sure Steven would have healed again, but I was still close nonetheless. The other times were just straight up fails, and I didn't think I needed any more grinding, but our defense stat is absolutely killing us. I need to have a few more runs before I'm high enough level to do any decent damage on that Metagross. And no double team TM, I refuse to go near you. I can do this without you. So now I'm at level 90 and I can actually get all the way through to Steven without saving in between battles, and here's how things went down. In the Sydney battle, the only issue is the Absol has the ability Pressure, and due to our low PP moves, it will use them up twice as fast. Phoebe has the same problem with the Pressure Pokemon. I just have to avoid stat elements or I'll just have to reset. Curse and Will-O-Wisp are battle enders, even bad Confusion Luck can harm you greatly. Glacier, she can raise the team's special defense via her Glalie, but apart from that the worst thing is the freeze. And Drake, just use Ice Beam, it's easy. Surskit is now level 94, no items in battle, no double team, can we do this? Surely we don't need to grind anymore, I'm losing my sanity. Skarmory comes up first and Water Pulse confuses it first turn and it hits itself. Surskit then uses Ice Beam and that's a very good start as we're on full HP. I use Ice Beam on Claydol as I misclicked and wanted to use Water Pulse, but Claydol is frozen in the red. Of course this means a guaranteed full restore, but that's 2 free turns to attack. or just the one since Ice Beam hit critically and knocked it out. Staying with the Ice Beam theme, as Cradily is sent to red health and uses Confuse Ray. Again, that full restore is out as Surskit hits itself, which isn't looking too good. Cradily does get off a crazy strong ancient power, but gets knocked out as Surskit snaps out of confusion and uses Ice Beam. Armaldo and Aggron, nothing new to say here, as they are the usual one water pulse away from the grave. And Metagross comes out, and can we beat it this time? Do we stand a chance? I use Water Pulse and it's looking like it's going to be a free shot. And it uses Psychic for some reason, which hardly does any damage due to our special defense. Another Water Pulse takes it into the red as Meteor Mash misses. A Citrus Berry heals it up, and I'm not sure if he has any full restores left or not. But he doesn't, as we can get off one more Water Pulse and knock out the Metagross. Just about though, it looked extremely close. And at level 94, I've beaten Pokemon Ruby with only a Surskit. That challenge was not the easiest near the end of the game, as the Elite Four script is basically the same as the entire main game script at 4 pages. The midpoint of the game really picked up quickly as our moveset bulked up, especially with Ice Beam, but some battles still caused a few issues since I skipped a load of trainers. I would be able to beat this challenge at a lower level if I did use Double Team, but I'm really proud of myself for not lowering myself to using Double Team on this run, as that made it a true test of the Pokemon's power and not just an RNG based luck fest. For my next solo run challenge, I do have some ideas written down as suggested by you, the viewers, in the comment section, but I'm also doing other types of challenges like a Professor Oak's challenge. This one I'm working on is taking forever, but I hope you do enjoy it when it comes out, because it is a big task. Also, people have asked about my playthrough idea, that will be coming soon also. The Professor Oak's challenge is just taking a while, and real life jobs are still a thing, but I'm still doing my best behind the scenes to get you all videos. As always, comment what videos you'd like to see, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel and follow my Twitter for the latest news on videos from yours truly. My name has been Super123, Surskit is a pretty cool Pokemon, and I will see you all next time.